Hello everyone, welcome to the world of nursing exams learning. So in this video we will discuss the continuation of our previous topic, that is called Kawasaki disease. So previous video we have already discussed the main clinical manifestations and the diagnostic evaluations as well as some of the common management aspects. Now we will see what is the protocol or what is the thing that we will keep in our mind in terms of immunization for these children who is diagnosed with Kawasaki disease. Antibodies, we said that these children we are treating with IV immunoglobulin. So the antibodies that is acquired from the IV immunoglobulin therapy will remain in the body up to 11 months. And that may interfere with the desired immune response to live vaccines. We know that the child should have the scheduled dose of live vaccines like varicella and MMR. So if this child is diagnosed with the Kawasaki disease and he has undergone the IV immunoglobulin therapy, he should not be take the live vaccines at least for 11 months. Why? Because the antibodies that acquired from this particular IV immunoglobulin will stay in the body up to 11 months. So if before 11 months if we'll give like vaccine, that will interfere the desired immune response to that particular vaccines. So the live vaccines should be delayed for 11 months after IV immunoglobulin administrations, as this therapy may decrease the child's ability to produce the appropriate amount of antibodies to provide lifelong immunity. We know that while we are giving these MMR vaccines or live vaccines, the child will get a lifelong immunity. So if we will not give the prior appropriate time, or if we are giving this particular vaccine before 11 months of after completing the IV immunoglobulin therapy, the effect or the response, lifelong response that should receive from this vaccine will not get. We said that it will interfere. So this kind of live vaccine should be delayed up to 11 months after IV immunoglobulin therapy. Then only the child will get the actual lifelong immunity from that particular vaccine, say like other children. I hope it's clear to you. Please thorough this point, because this point also have some scenarios, or sometimes this point will come as an option for some questions related to this particular topic. Now we will see some of the discharge teaching or the instruction that the nurse should give upon after discharging the client or after going to the home. What are the things he should take care of, what are the things the parents should inform to the healthcare provider. The first one, Kawasaki disease is one of the few pediatric illness in which the aspirin therapy is warranted due to its antiplatelet and anti-inflammatory properties. We know that the aspirin, what is the function of aspirin? We know that. So because of this property, the child always prescribed with an aspirin therapy. So the parents should be cautioned about the risk of Ray's syndrome. What do you mean by Ray's syndrome? Because the child, if they have any kind of infections or inflammation and the child is taking aspirin during that particular infection period, there is a chance of developing another condition that is called Ray's syndrome. I hope you have some idea. That's why we are not going to discuss much more. That is the thing, they will develop a Ray's syndrome. So the cardiopulmonary resuscitation should also be taught to parents of children with the coronary artery aneurysm. The parents should teach about the Ray's syndrome, as well as the parents should have an idea, or they should be taught about how to perform cardio CPR, because the chances of developing acute coronary aneurysms are common, or the one of the potential complications related to this particular condition. So that is also the main instruction should give upon discharge. Then the another point, during the acute phase, we study already this point that in the acute phase, the child should be provided with soft foods and clear liquids, that we already discussed. Then the next point, temporary joint pain and other manifestations of the arthritis, example stiffness, decreased range of motion, may occur and persist for several weeks. This is one new point, temporary joint pain and other manifestations of arthritis like stiffness or a decreased range of motion that will be common and that may persist for several weeks. So during this time the parents should be informed that ROM or range of motion exercise and warm baths will reduce these symptoms and minimize discomfort. So when the child will develop such kind of joint inflammation or any kind of stiffness or arthritis signs and symptoms or pain, the parents should provide a warm bath that will reduce the discomfort as well as the pain, and also they should be informed to perform some range of motion exercise. Does that clear the points that we discussed? We'll move to next one. Then when the children with the Kawasaki disease discharged home, parents are instructed to monitor them for fever by checking the temperature orally or rectally every 6 hours for the first 48 hours following the last fever. Which means now today the child or the client is going to discharge. So maybe the last fever that was developed maybe the today early morning or yesterday night. So the parents should be instructed that even after they will go home or they will discharge it, they should check the temperature every 6 hours for the first 48 hours following the last fever. For example, I said that today morning might be the last fever, and until day after tomorrow morning, the parents should check the child temperature rectally or orally every 6 hours. That is very mandatory, because the temperature should also be checked daily until the follow-up appointment, and also they have to, in the first 48 hours they will check every 6 hours, then until the next appointment there should be every day temperature checking will be there, or the parent should be instructed or the nurse should be instructed to the parent that they should check the temperature every day on a daily basis. If the child develops fever, the healthcare provider should be notified, as this may indicate acute phase of Kawasaki disease recurrence. We said that if the child develops a fever again, which means that or which shows that the child is again getting the next episode or the recurrent episode Kawasaki disease. That is the acute phase of Kawasaki disease. So the child may require additional treatment with the intravenous immunoglobulin to prevent the development of coronary artery aneurysms and subsequent complications or the subsequent occlusions. So we study what are the main health teaching. The child should provide with soft foods, especially in the acute phase. Then the child, if they have any joint pain or inflammation, stiffness, they should be provided with a warm bath, and also they should the parent should be perform range of motion exercise. Then the temperature should be checked for 6 hours for 48 hours, then every day. Then if there is a temperature that shows that okay, the child is showing the or developing the next episode or the Kawasaki disease occurrence, so it should be informed to the healthcare provider and need and treatment again with the IV immunoglobulin therapy. So is that clear? So shall we move to a question? The nurse is caring for a child with Kawasaki disease who is receiving IV immunoglobulin. The child parents want to know why this treatment is required. The nurse explains that this therapy is given to, so I will just reword the question. The nurse is caring for a child with a KD and he is receiving IV immunoglobulin therapy. The parents, they want to know why the child is getting or why it is prescribed this particular treatment to this child. So what is the explanation that the nurse should give to the parents? That is the question. The first option says fight the infection. The second option says minimize the rash. Third, prevent heart disease. And the fourth one is the reduce spleen size. So based on the points or the things that we have studied in the previous video as well as this video, what do you think which could be the right answer that this particular nurse can give to the parents? Does that providing this or IV immunoglobulin therapy is providing to fight the infection? No, we didn't said. We will see what is another option, minimize rash. We know that there will be a rash, but the therapy is not primarily, the goal of therapy is not primarily to minimize rash. If the goal of therapy is to prevent the heart problems or to prevent the coronary artery aneurysms and further prevent the complications related to this particular one like myocardial infarction and death. That is the main goal of providing this IV immunoglobulin therapy. We will see why this first option is not came as an answer. So our answer is option 3, to prevent the heart disease or to treat the heart problems related to this particular condition. The fourth option, reduce spleen size, that is also not our answer. So in the option 1, they said that it is to fight the infection. We know that the Kawasaki disease, it is one of the commonest vasculitic disorder and with some unknown etiology. But the goal in the question, they specifically ask what is the main goal of providing this IV immunoglobulin therapy. So that one we should concentrate. That is the keyword in this particular question. So the option 1 will not be the right answer, because we know that it is not an infectious process, because the child often have a similar clinical presentation of an infection like any other condition. So that is not the primary goal. Sometimes the Kawasaki disease may be mistaken of a bacterial viral illness, because the symptoms are somewhat same as bacterial viral illness. Then the other option, why it not be a treatment for minimize the rash, because the polymorphous rash of the trunk and extremity is an expected finding in child with the Kawasaki disease. We said that in the Kawasaki disease, one of the manifestations is the rash. So that is expected. And the cool compress or unscented lotions and loose fitting clothing can minimize the discomfort. So what are the things can use if the child have rash? Means they can provide with some loose cotton clothings, then unscented lotions, then cool compresses that will provide a comfort or that will reduce the discomfort related to this rash. Then the another point, we said that it will reduce the, what is the fourth option? Okay, reduce the spleen size. Why it is not the answer? Because the lymphadenopathy, usually a single palpable anterior cervical node, that we said that more than 1.5 cm, and splenomegaly are included in the clinical manifestations of the Kawasaki disease. The IVIG therapy is not indicated to reduce incidence of this particular finding. I hope it's clear. I just wanted to include what are why the other wrong options. It's not, maybe we will think, okay, the client have this rash, and the client also have a cervical lymphadenopathy. So then why it's not giving as a point when the parent will ask. The main goal that is asking in the question. That's why we choose answer to treat the heart disease or to prevent the cardiac problems. So does that clear? I hope it's clear to everybody. So this video will wind up here, and I hope that we will discuss some more questions. If you want to discuss more questions, please put as a comment in the comment box. And if you have any further clarification, if you want anything that we are discussing is not clear or any issues, please send a mail to the mail ID that I have given in the description box. So bye for now. We'll see with some other questions on the next video. Bye bye.